who God is. And with God, all things are possible. So I just say to us parents who are here today, let us continue to be the parents and not the children in our home, so that our society will be a better place. We'll continue with the tribute from the Honorable John Jr., the Honorable Horace Dolly, and then the community tribute which will be done by Ms. Carmen Livermore.
Members of the celebratory family, because we're not here bereaved today, we celebrate a life, well lived. Members of the congregation, good afternoon. My association with the Tappers go back a very, very long time. In fact, so far back I can't remember. Because my godparents, both of them, were Tappers. Stephen Tapper and Gloria Tapper, not this Gloria. Christened in the Methodist Church in Barbridge, where the Tappers were a cornerstone. I want to begin by extending an apology on behalf of Horace Daly. Horace, the Member of Parliament, unfortunately, Gordon and the rest of the family asked me to give this apology, as he has another funeral at the same time, and it is at the other end of the constituency. So he said to me, as you are coming, I won't bother to come. So, the association with Tappers continued through many years. In fact, Gordon and myself went to prep school on the very same day, in the very same motor vehicle. We both attended Morrisley Prep in Kingston, and we were boarders and have been lifelong friends. This is from we were 7, 8 years old. This house that was in James Hill was a home, a second home. It was a place of peace and rest. It was made largely so because of two people who, as you've heard, represented ultimate love for each other and for people generally. It would be remiss of me, because I know particularly Mrs. Tapper would not forgive me if I didn't mention the fact that her dedication to Jamaica found expression through the People's National Party. To which she was very devoted. Apart from her church pastor, she was extremely devoted to her party and sought service through that means, as well as through her community service. I recall, again very early, going to cricket matches in Days Valley. That's in Barbridge, a little bit outside, coming down towards K Valley. There was a cricket field over, you had to go over a hill and go down. And I remember seeing Mr. Tapper in his whites and his bat. And he was those days these fellas played cricket, not like West Indies today. They really played cricket. And cricket was a game for gentlemen. And it really expressed some of the highest traditions of that time. As the pastor bemoaned the lack of parenting in our society today, you know, we lived in a gentler time then. The other day something forcibly brought that to my attention. I was driving on the Washington Boulevard and I saw a coaster bus, and he was in and out, in and out. There was at least 4 near misses in accidents. And I glanced up at the name of the bus. You know what his name was? Scatter. And I thought to myself, when we were growing up bus that passed there in the morning early was meat flour. Buses were named Confidence. Now they're named Exterminator 1 and 2. So we really need to reflect on our society. And the gentleness that we speak of that represented the love that these two persons had for each other serves as an enduring example of what parenting is all about. And if we could emulate these two people, we would have a gentler and a better Jamaica to the celebrating family. We can celebrate with you his life because it was a good life. Thank you.
We used to play marble. You could say deadings. But I am me, and I'm going to do my thing. According to the book of 1 Corinthians 13, verse 1, which states that, though I speak with the tongues of men and angels and have not love, I have become sounding brass, clanging cymbal. Without genuine love, we are just a lot of annoying noise. What people are described as children of God? I don't know how Haile Selassie puts it. I don't know how Muhammad puts it. But in the book of St. Matthew 5, verse 9, Jesus Christ said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God." This being so, I believe with my whole heart that Lascelles Tapper, affectionately called Old Ted, Papa Tapper, Mas Ted, Teddy Tapper, Mr. Tapper, and Daddy Tapper spelled peace and love. Amen. This dear gentleman publicly demonstrated an undiluted lifestyle of peace and love and kindness in this community of Janesville and the adjacent ones. I have estimated knowing Mr. Lascelles Tapper for at least 60 years. My first knowledge of him was as a driver and the owner of, somebody said it's a blue truck. To me at that time it looked like a black Bedford truck, which was used for multiple purposes. One, it was used to transport my father's cane from Boghole to Sevens and other farmers. And then on my way from Boghole to James Hill All-Age School, myself and others saw that truck coming. We made sure to get a ride to school. And I remember on one occasion, we saw Elizabeth going to school too. But there was no room or space for her in Daddy's truck. Because it was filled with all of us. And then we said, "See Elizabeth there?" Daddy said, "Make Elizabeth walk." And I am now thinking to myself, I wonder how she felt as a little girl to see Daddy truck full up with other people's children and nowhere for her. But she calmly walked into school. This same Bedford truck was reliable. I was reliably informed, had many other community duties to perform, like taking people to the beach, taking people wherever they needed to go. Plus his favorite sports, cricket matches. Daddy Tapper made himself available to whoever and whatever cause demanded his loving and sympathetic help. Fully supported by his precious wife, Amy Tapper. We, the citizens of Janesville, thank Almighty God for Paul Bogan, Marcus Garvey, Sam Shaw, family at last. Hence his name, Daddy. He took great pleasure in answering to anybody and everybody who wishes to shout or say, Daddy! According to Buju Banton, I could go on and on. I've never been told. But I must leave space for his only son, Gordon Tapper, who, if I continue like this, he might not have much to say. And then it's difficult, as somebody says, it's difficult to talk about one without the other. Because all this craziness I'm going on with here, I'm a product of Mrs. Tapper. She taught me, and as co-workers, we walk step by step to school until she was retiring. I learned so much from her. Things that I didn't understand, I would ask. And she'd tell me that it's because of the level of maturity. And whatever decision she made, it had to do with Daddy. And right now, there are things that I want to do in my life, and I am remembering something she wanted to do, and Daddy wouldn't allow her. And it's playing in my head now. Because Daddy makes wise decisions. Very calm, but wise decisions. And I must go on to say that there's very little that was ever happening in Elizabeth's life, Gordon's life, whatever, that I never heard about. Never heard about. Because Mrs. Tapper made sure she put everything in my head. And when Gordon was growing up as a young man, you see, and nature dictated to him that it's time to look on the other side, he decided to go to Daddy for more money because he had to take out a girl. So he went to Daddy and tell Daddy that he had to give him some more money for him to take out a girl. See, all that was passed on to me. Good. And then, you look back some years ago, or it's still happening, a boy is growing up and his father said, a man at one boy, a man at one. He's going to be a man somehow. He was born one, just that he was little. And when the age comes to, he's going to tell you something else. And guess what Daddy did? Did you think he called the garden as a man at one boy? No. Mommy told me that Daddy laughed and said, thank God my son is a man. Now, did you know that Mrs. Tapper saved life too? She didn't only teach? Yes, she saved life. Because there's a little young lady here in Janesville who Mrs. Tapper saved her life. You know, as parents, we have children and we think that they are one of us. But God made each individual different. And sometimes we don't understand our children as we should. And we think whatever we said to them, they should do it the way we say. But time has changed so much. There was a little girl in Janesville. Her parents didn't understand her quite well, and so they sought help elsewhere. But it so happened that where she was so very uncomfortable. And I was shocked when she related to me in her intention. A nice one, but a suicidal one. And she did go to her own parents and informed them. She went to Mrs. Tapper. And when she told Mrs. Tapper what was going on in her mind, Mrs. Tapper had to leave her own children and her own family and find this little girl's family and show them what was going on. They had to make an immediate move to solve that particular problem. And I speak no other of a little girl who is now a young lady, who is called Annie Davis. Annie, moved by love, decided tell you something, God won't have a problem now to put his parents at that home or that other home. Because guess what? When I heard that they were back in Jamaica, I asked where they were. And when they tell me that they were somewhere on the Cartridge Road, I start from this end and I inquired at every home. When I look at certain one of them, I say, oh no, they were not putting them at that one. And I go to the next one and I go to the next one and then they tell me where they were. And I drove go right up there. I pull out my ID and say, look, I am coming. Even I am from Jamestown or I'm here to see Mrs. Lascelles Tapper and Lascelles Tapper. And I found them. And it soothes my heart. And after Mrs. Tapper died, Daddy was somewhere else. And when I was longing to see him, I find out where he was again. And guess what? Love found a way. I jump in the car again and I drive. I said, I want to look in his face, not the dead face, the live one. Okay, so I don't mind if I don't see him now. And so last time I went there, Elizabeth and Gloria were there. That's my evidence. Now back to Annabelle Navis. She decided that she was going to take it upon her head that Mr. Tapper not going very so. James Hill people must have an input and nothing would stop her. Love found a way. And she got on Gordon's case. And Gordon just had to, because of his well brought up, he complied. For this little girl decided it's not going somewhere. When she spoke to me, I gave her all support. Go there, girl. He is our hero, the hero of James Hill. Our hero. And I'm saying this again to say that she's no big person, big in height or body, but somebody says that one graduation I'll never forget. Don't watch the size of the dog. Watch the size of the fight that's in the dog. And that girl, after she decided to say a candle lighting service, and she informed everybody, and before you look, we all join in. And God has it on this video there. Candles were lit from the gate straight to up here. And when that was not enough, love said, we want something else. And love said, James Hill people must do something around there. And it's not finished yet. She just, remember say, the things that she done, the things that she done, she just a come. And we'll be right behind her. She said, next Heroes Day, let's do something big. And as we said before, yes, we thank God for all our heroes. But we thank God Almighty for sending Lascelles Tapper to James Hill. He showed love and kindness and respect to everyone that came in his path. In his path. That Bedford truck, whether it was the big body one or they took it off and put on the stone body, it was here to serve the community of James Hill. At one point I was going to a sewing school and I was just standing up and waiting and not moving because there weren't so many taxis on the road. So I just stood up there and looked because my father's house was on a hill. I stayed there and waited till I see the Bedford truck coming. Then I start walking like I was walking before. Just start walking, you know, because I saw the Bedford truck coming and I'm sure of a ride. That was the kind of person Lascelles Tapper was. Loving, kind, helpful, peaceful. I know that his soul is resting in peace. May God bless you all. Thank you.
It's a tribute from Mr. Ronaldo Smith. I would like her to come up and make the presentation on his behalf.
Party, ladies and gentlemen, very family, good afternoon. One precious to our hearts has gone. The voice we love is stilled. The place made vacant in our home can never be filled. Our Father in his wisdom called the one his love has given, and so on earth the body lies waiting for the final call. Mr. Tapper, as he was affectionately called, was a family person, humble, kind, helpful, and loving. He was not deterred by hard work. As a result of those attributes, he was my friend. And as was said, these are attributes from Deacon Smith's brothering. I knew him for over 30 years. He is among the persons who came to live in Jamesville and has added virtue to the community. He loves children. This was evident as a special treat was planned for the children at his home during the Christmas season. My children would look forward for this collation. One of his leisure time was playing cricket. One of his leisure time was playing cricket. He was very passionate about this sport and also his political party. He was a very cautious driver, and he drove trucks for many years. This he would use to assist the cane farmers, as you heard earlier, in the community by transporting their produce to the factory. Furthermore, he was a good mechanic. He could be seen on numerous occasions assisting people with vehicle problems or lending them his tools. He was a humorous person. On one occasion, when he had relaxation, he said, "If anything happened to me, just take me to my mama and I'll be all right." Because we know that they love each other dearly. He was not like the man who I heard about called his wife darling. And when he was asked by his friends, "Why do you call your wife darling for so many years in marriage?" he said to his friends, "Because I didn't remember her name and I was afraid to ask." Mr. Tapper was not like that. He loved his wife. He was a genuine lover. But as you know, the passage of time can never heal the tragic memory of loss. But God does what is always best. May his soul rest in peace and light perpetual shine on him. Amen.
I know that there are many who still would like to say something about Mr. Tapper, but time is not here today for us to do so, but as we continue to share with the family as we meet them, we'll continue to give God thanks as we sing, "O God, our help in ages past, our hopes for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home." Could we stand as we lift our voices in giving God thanks?
Shelter from the
Praise the Lord. May be seated.